All right, let me go ahead and share screen to bring up the okay, you guys can see that now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so this is so if you guys look over on the left where it says where my cursor is and where it says chats, it says Reindeer RCIC live session. That's where we're at. But if you go up here just above it where it says RCI prompt assistant, that is our GPT. That is for everybody to what they get access to. And basically it's its own basically when they have that they can access everything that I'm going to be going over. So I set all this up with the 10. There's more to it than these 10 items. I actually have an agenda for once, Kevin. I've actually developed that's just yeah, I actually try to come up with some agendas now. So I'm gonna do this real quick. Talk about user input, embedding, BuyBox Builder, lead generation, all this stuff. So I'm just gonna go through. I have to tell it what's going no, with user input. So I'm just gonna go through the list.
Whoop, get the spell right. There you go.
And yeah, and go through the list. All right. So it talks about user input. So everything in this, we call it now I'm calling it the real estate capital intelligence community. Willie's coming on. There's another guy that hasn't been on in a while. Holy shit. It's like we're put the band back together. Let me stop for just a second so I can get Willie in. Willie!
Hey, where's the website for this, or what's the link for this RCIC?
I've got it in on all the Patreon, but I've got it. I gave you the link. I'm going to be doing some testing tomorrow on it because I had to fix some access. Now that Willie's on, I can explain that too. But yeah, there's a couple different things. There's one where it tells you how to get on there, and you have to have your own like Chat GPT, the free version. But there's also two Google Forms. Hey Willie, what's up? How are you?
What up?
Not much, man. Long time.
I need to get some pen and paper for this, I do believe.
Yeah, but don't worry.
Hey, while you're here, you need to get with him anyway. That guy we were talking about the other day, you need to hook him up with Willie.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And I tried to hook Willie up
Before
with
you
Jay.
stop everything and get that done now before we forget, since he's here.
What are you talking about? I'm trying to remember who we're talking about.
I don't know exactly who it was either. You just had somebody down south that needed to get somebody in Texas going, and
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that guy already had the one that I was trying to do the live session for the other night.
yeah.
I already got that handled. But
Okay.
I connected Willie with Jay Holder, who's the transaction coordinator. Hey, so user input. We're just starting Willie. So I mean, I just literally started here and told him I'm on. So some of it I preset just to kind of have an agenda. I've kind of evolved since last time you were on a Zoom with us. So everything in this, we call it the real estate capital intelligence community. And it's part of the whole Ranger system. So it starts with input. User input in this whole thing is very important to everybody, to everything, because you're teaching it. It doesn't know you, it doesn't know your buy box, it doesn't know what you're looking for. So you have to input that. And so we'll talk about the embedding next, but deals, the counties. I'm actually right now, we're putting in all 3,144 counties and parishes across the country. Everybody will be able to, like here, I put Pueblo County, which is in Pueblo, Colorado, tax liens. So today I put in for a couple of counties. Obviously, I can't, it took me about 30 minutes to do one test county. After that, it'll all be like, and it'll all be like people can just go in and say, hey, I'm looking for so and so in Milwaukee County, Wisconsin, or whatever, and you're looking for that, and then it'll automatically pull up that, and then it'll have the vault and the prompt bar. I'll talk about the vault and the prompt bar. Jesse, that's what you're looking for too. Is the Willie, over here on the left on the screen, you see RCIC prompt assistant. So that's where everyone will have access to that with that, which what I got on Patreon, the link, and give you guys that. And then everybody has to have at least the free version of ChatGPT. But also there's two prompt suggestion bar and there's a prompt request bar. The prompt request bar goes in, it's for people who can access, and I'll explain it how the prompts work. It's a pretty cool process. Sometimes you have to use the prompts to get the prompts. And when you put a prompt, it'll come up with a use case. I'll kind of explain a little bit about this tonight. I'm expecting to do a whole lot of training on for everybody on this. But once people get the basics and you get the buy box and you get embedded and you get a few, and you have whatever you're doing, somebody's lending, somebody's flipping, whatever it is. Once they get that in there, and that they probably have to do it 2 or 3 times to have memory, like because this thing has memory. The memory does fill up, and I'll kind of explain that later on, just to kind of save some time, just so I can move through this a little bit. But you want to have it has everything. It has the vault, which I built in Dropbox. I got like 3 terabytes of storage now for it, and so I don't know that whole list that you guys know that I have in Facebook and the group, and we don't need files anymore. It's all in here. You can actually just bring it up with prompts, all those documents, all those analyzers, everything, and I've added on to it. I've turned that 150 items into about 500. So there's a ton of stuff, and every day I'm putting more and more stuff in it. So it'll generate a buy box for you. It'll also do a daisy chain. I just tried to do one today. I did some testing on detecting daisy chains, doing red flags. There's all kinds of things you can input people, like the guy that I found a couple weeks ago that had been convicted of wire fraud. I basically found him and dimed him out. Basically it was a request of Natalie, who's in our group. It's one of her clients, had that problem with this guy, and I put him in, and like 10 seconds later, it told me he'd been in prison for wire fraud. So it kind of is really incredible. You can do thousands of searches. So everybody has to be embedded. Every market, every strategy is custom embedded. So like, well, you come in, you're embedded, like you were asking about your clients, right? So you can actually be embedded yourself. So you can bring them on with your prompt assistant and all that. You can actually bring them on and do your own session on your chat GPT or whatever, and actually access all the resources. You're embedded, somebody's a lender, they're embedded, they're a wholesaler, they're embedded. And then the more work they do, they also get scored. There's a scorecard system. So people are in here working, doing the deals, and you can do everything. Real estate A to Z, 0 to 99. The only thing that we're really going to struggle with at first, and we'll be able to do it eventually over time as we train it. Like I said, it's user input. The more people that are using it, the more they're using it, the better. The only thing that we're going to really is on some of the lead generation, we're able to do some, and we're able to do like scope of work pricing. Like we can do a scope of work. I have 110 items scope of work. It could go out to 12 draws. That could be a weekly draw, a bi-weekly draw. So you go out to 24 weeks. It can do all that stuff. It can generate all the contracts. It can do all the compliance for SMS or text messaging, all the compliance for wholesaling in like Oklahoma, Illinois, all those states. You can make them all. You can actually go in and ask for a Oklahoma compliant wholesaling agreement, things like that. And it'll actually generate it right there on the screen. You can tweak it, you can save it to PDF, Word, Excel. It's pretty cool. So I've already got Colorado, pretty much a lot of priority counties in Colorado is the test market. New Hampshire is also, I'm working on those other states around you, Jesse, as well. Massachusetts, your state, and then obviously Connecticut and stuff. We got a lot of Texas going on. We got Minnesota. Michigan has a few people. Washington State, we got Laura Hicks, and we got Stan Orlowski. So I've been putting these in as counties. Like I said, by July 31st, all 3,144 counties will be in there. You'll be able to look up Jefferson County, Colorado, and have the county clerk pull up and actually be able to have their actual website now. It doesn't do all the work for you, but the good thing is you don't have to go, people don't have to go and hunt and peck and try to find stuff. They can pull up the actual property records. They can do skip tracing. They can find previous owners, tax history, and all that stuff. Some stuff they can do because some counties like Jefferson County are pretty sophisticated, and they have GIS and they have tools you can use. Not every county has that, so we are limited to what we can obviously ask somebody to do. Same thing with national MLSs. There are 600 MLSs. Visuals, all the folders, skip tracing, triggers. There's triggers and there's prompts, and I'll kind of explain that. I'll go into it more when we're doing training over this. Like I said, at training, people can bring actual deals just like we've always done. So we're doing Mondays, Wednesdays, and then our usual Thursday nights for associate. People can bring in, I'll do like a half an hour to an hour on the training, turn the recording off, and we'll just go through deals, and I'll sit here with the AI and actually do it, showing you guys how to do it until you guys are up to, until everybody feels that they're up to speed on it. So the buy box. So you got a BuyBox Builder. It'll output PDF ready, CRM ready, and lender friendly files. It works across everything, every asset class, single family, land, multifamily, commercial, everything. It supports wholesaling, burr, flipping, novation, seller finance, Morby method, everything. So the strategy, the asset class, it all works. You can put it in there. You can put 1031 exchanges. Tomorrow I'll be working a lot on the on formulas. It already has the formulas. It can calculate your IRR. It can do everything that we've been working on manually. Like literally, it has everything in there, and the number it's becoming accurate. Now, you do want to test it out when you start using it. And, like down here at the bottom, it says ChatGPT can make mistakes. Like don't ask it how to do neurosurgery. I'm pretty sure that won't go well. But it's pretty accurate. And it's going to get better. The more people we have it, the more input. Auto expands with prompts like price range, zips, strategy, funding sources. It's all in the vault. So there's a prompt bar and there's CRM. It's basically its own CRM. One thing I'll be doing this month is I'm building Airtable. Everyone wants to get a program called Airtable. It's airtable.com. You can watch the tutorial on YouTube. It's the free version. It's just like Company Cam. No one's probably ever going to need the paid version of Airtable, but it's an AI based, like you can almost make a CRM. The good thing when I have my Airtable on here, if you guys have Airtable, you can link it up and you can share information and it goes back and forth. Eventually, we'll have thousands of people potentially doing deals within this system. And I don't have to worry about it's all in the cloud. It's all stored open AI, so it's all available. And everybody will have the prompt assistant, which accesses everything that I've built and everything that we'll be building. And it's pretty cool that way. Lead generation, skip tracing. So today I put in, you can search for code violations, tax liens, evictions, distressed landlords, dead leads, cold leads. You can find you can go out. We did some tests. There's one we did. I'm working on a daisy chain one for Wednesday. I'm gonna have it for Wednesday night session. I'm gonna work on it Wednesday. But you can look for everything probate. You can look for pre-foreclosures. You do have to go in and designate an area. You can't go and say, hey, I'm looking for a national. If you're doing national, you still got to go in and say, I need zip code 80227. I need zip code this. It'll have the prompt for it, but it'll start bringing up information that's in that area. It'll start scraping maybe the county, other things, liens, tax liens, a lot of stuff it'll start scraping. Visual property inspection, and this is what everybody's going to want to get company cam or have something, but you can actually, it's like I said, it's built for remote control. You can inspect virtually anything using photos, videos. You can get company cam, put it directly into the scope of work program that we have. So again, when you do the VPI program, the scope of work can come in, the draw schedule, so you can use it to start putting items in. You can do all the contractor whole, tag teams, all the investor partners. It's prompt driven, folder ready. It's in PromptBar vault like everything else. So you can actually take pictures. It actually is good enough. You can actually enter it and it'll actually, it won't be certifiable, but it can tell you, hey, there's mold, there's water issues, there's code violations. So how powerful is that if you just put in the pictures and you have the AI actually look at the pictures and you could find something that, it might save you some money. It might make somebody decide not to buy that property. Then you got virtual wholesaling. And I'm going to go through this 10 and then I'm going to open it up and we'll talk about, you guys, we can test out some stuff. But like I said, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And then by appointment, like if somebody has a hot deal, they can hit me up and I can meet them on Zoom and pull up the AI. We can work specifically on your deal. So if you got clients or you need to get deals, like just give me a little heads up and I can open a Zoom and we can go over specific deals for you and try to put them together. Like I said, we can save everything in PDF, Word, Excel. Pretty cool. Visuals, and I'll show you guys a visual like at the end before we shut down tonight. I'll give you guys a couple of things that it struggles with, and they know about it. They're fixing it. So you got the onboarding guide. There is a guide in here how to virtual wholesaling. Everything has a guide. Everything starts at start here. And then when you go to start here, the first part, and we'll do like a training and I'll show people when we have it, the prompt assistant, that it has a guide for everything. So it walks you through it. And it's pretty simple. I mean, I've been learning this since probably 500 hours that I put into it. I know now how to put the folders in, how to put them into Dropbox, because I'm using Dropbox. So eventually I'll have Airtable. Dropbox will be my backup. It's pretty cool that way. All the skip trace flows, all the inspection systems. You can match the dispo or buyer instantly. You're talking about lenders. We put all those lenders in there, all 901 lenders and 1,762 funding sources. On that, out of that 12,000, I have it, pared it down and organized it. So when you go in and say So while you're a customer, you got a client in here, you basically get all the deal, you put all the information in, you do all the deal analysis, and all the red flags get checked off, so now they're all green. Then you can say, hey, what 5 lenders can do this deal in Texas right now? It'll pull those 5. It'll what they call a prompt tile, and a prompt tile just looks like what I've been posting on Facebook. It's just a post. It'll come up. It'll have their information. It'll have how to contact them. Eventually, as this develops, we're hoping that we can link everybody up together, and everybody can just do the deals within the system. So it's kind of cool that way. It's going to take probably 6 months to a year to do that, but everything else is done. This is like, so I have 3 philosophies: do it for you. I don't like the done for you. I like done with you and do it yourself. So this basically gives everybody to do those 2 out of the the D's: done with you and do it yourself. Everything, like I said, in most cases I've probably done myself, in the AI will probably do 90% of the work for people. They just have to go in and finish it off and actually put their buy box in there, what they're looking for, put their information as user input, and that'll help better match it. And once people are in the system, once you're in, you're embedded, you're in there, and then people can find you. If you're doing deals in Dallas, somebody's looking for Dallas, eventually there's gonna be a match. There'll be a lender match. There's gonna be wholesalers will have matches. People will be able to actually get a scorecard and be able to say, hey, this person's doing all these deals. They've got, from anywhere from 80 to 100 on the score is good. If somebody's got 100, that person's somebody you want to deal with. If they got a 90, that's somebody you want to deal with. Anything less than 80 is somebody who's suspect. So Airtable's actually got a thing in there that's going to track when people, are using the prompt assistant. It'll actually give them a score, and it's pretty cool. And like if they get deals, if they put their HUDs in, like you don't have to go and send your HUD to somebody. They can you can just scan it in through this button here down here, this add photos and files. You can scan. There's also tools. So you can scan, put in your HUDs and all that stuff, and it'll actually keep track of everything without disclosing all the actual information. So it can say, hey, you've got 20 HUDs or whatever. AI can confirm that. So, and it connects to the transaction coordinator, funding, and visual inspection. Well, essentially, it connects you to with Jay this morning. So Jay is actually embedded. He may even come up sometimes. So people are asking for a transaction coordinator. Jay will come up as finish line TC services and some other people, and then we can actually do that with advertising. We can actually, if people want to, pay extra, they want to be a wholesaler or lender. Once we vet them, they can become embedded, so that they show up. So it like shows up in the deal all of a sudden. So and so is like, the primary reference or whatever. It's pretty cool that way. That's what we call embedding. So here you go. That when you ask me about lender matching, real lenders based on logic and not luck. It's all in there. 2,683 capital sources. It doesn't include the 20 or so people in our Facebook group, but they'll be embedded anyway. But the match by asset location strategy. This is what I was working on the other day, Kevin, the Tyler, Texas one. I had a prompt in there, and then output PDF and Word doc. Your output depends, and this output depends on your input. Like everything's there, but people have to put input. It's just like having a calculator or something. You got to put in what you wanted to put out. Output PDF plus Word doc, Vault, PromptBar. So we got the ambassadors. It's kind of like we're talking about before with guides. Invite links. So everybody has, and I will set you up this morning, Willie, with 25. Jesse, I think I set you up, but if not, I'll get you 25. Where we have the different tiers on Patreon, and tier 1 is usually going to be the $9. It's just very basic. I got some books. They're in PDF and Word. They're anywhere from 20 to 70 pages. I did a bunch of white papers like 1031 exchange. They're 5 to 10 pages. There's some stuff in that tier 1. So on those, you can give those away to people you trust. When they join, they get those basics. Now it tracks you. So Willie on yours, it says Willie Ingram on yours. So I already know if you have anybody that upgrades from that join, that come on, they get in free for 12 months. If they go through me or they go through the system, they only can get a 1 month. But if they come through you as an ambassador, they get 12 months of the starter pack. If they decide to upgrade to the tier 4 or the RCIC alone, just the AI alone, or they get the full thing, then I'm going to pay 50% of that after a 5% processing fee that Patreon and PayPal charge. So you get the starter pack, send the input, it's like a full system preview, and then priority access and partner opportunities. And it's pretty cool. There's also the reindeer local groups, which you guys have seen me putting up like, all over the place. Kevin, I gotta set up Kansas City. It's gonna go Kansas City, like Independence west to the Colorado, Kansas line for you. That way you got KC, Independence, Overland, Salina, Topeka, Wichita. Because I've got
I could take the whole western half of Missouri as far as that's concerned.
yeah, no, and I got some. We got some people in Springfield going east. They're going to Illinois and Indiana. So, and then a prompt assistant and prompt bar. Like I said, this is the prompt assistant. This is the brain, the command center. So all the prompts live here. Legal deal vetting. I mean, you can do all the legal stuff in here. It has a disclaimer. You could go in and put all your contracts together, all your documents, all your LOIs, and you can actually reference all 50 states real estate commissions and ask, can I have a TREC compliant purchase and sale agreement? It'll print one. It does have a disclaimer that we recommend you still consult with an attorney, but it's pretty cool that way. The prompt bar triggers fire, based on the entry. The vault is deep storage. Prompt bar is dynamic. So we got new triggers drop weekly, actually probably daily. I'm putting new stuff every day. So these are our tiers that we came up with. Like I said, tier one's the starter pack. That's the $9 a month. Tier two is gonna be wholesaling pro. I'm working on that for just having a wholesaler. Because we get a lot of wholesalers coming in, get a lot of capital partners, and then we got the basically RCIC and ICS and Associates is tier four, and then actually tier three will be RCIC alone. I have to change that, so it'll just be the AI alone. And then if people want the ITS, the Investor Training Series, that's the Monday and Wednesdays. So if they just want to be self-guided, they just do the tier three. And like I said, I'll drop off capital partners because that's actually tier five. And there's a tier six, it's seller solutions. Seller solutions is just for homeowners, people in distress. The only people that I'm going to allow in from the group to be in that from our organization are people we know that can treat people good. And it's basically to give them a thing they can join. It's like $3, but they actually get a free trial. So they don't have to pay $3. They get the free trial for 7 days. As soon as someone joins that, I'll give them 90-day pass. So they got time to read a lot of material, and you guys can put input. The people that I want in there from our, like I said, from our group are people I know that can work with people in distress, and like we don't want people that are taking advantage of them. But like RCIC in our group and then the associates, so in that level, they would get lifetime life. So tier two and three have three is $49 a month, and tier four is $99 a month. And so the lifetime on there now, instead of the $3.99, is $5.99. I grandfathered in 22 people who I'd been talking to up until June 30th. But everybody else is $5.99. And then we'll go to $7.99 in October for fourth quarter, and then eventually larger. But they'll get to be an associate. They just won't have revenue share, and they have the training. That's the Mondays and Wednesdays. So there'll be a lot of coaching. I'm not coaching people how to do the real estate. I'm teaching people how to use these resources. So they can do everything. They can teach themselves.
Yeah, because everything else will be right there in front of them anyway. So you'd
Yeah.
actually make it much more comprehensive and a lot easier to deal with. And you don't have to go through a whole lot to figure out which way's up.
Cool. Let me do this real quick. Put recap. Watch this. It'll recap. This is what's great about it, dude. It does some of I have to fix a couple of minor things. But this is what's cool about it. Now, there's some issues with visuals. Like sometimes the padding's off. The padding is like margin. Like earlier, it got like it has 10 things that I talked about tonight. It cut off after 9, or sometimes it'll bleed. So you got to remind it. Once a day, I'll probably have to give up on a visual. OpenAI knows that, and it also depends on what plan you have. Like I have the unlimited plan, but sometimes it's still rate limited. Depends on how much volume. A lot of times, like on Fridays, it's particular. I'll ask it. Is there any technical issues? Because if there's something going on there on their end, then I can work around it. It can go all text all day long. It'll make all my visuals. It'll make everything PDF Word and all that stuff. So we did the 24 systems and stuff. So it's pretty cool. So the big thing right now is gotta get everyone on it. I gotta change these couple of things. But I gotta get everyone on it and then train everybody this week. And like I said, Wednesday night we'll do more. I'm gonna show the prompt bar real quick. Let me see if I can menu demonstrate some prompts. with use cases. So here's some prompt examples category. So BuyBox Builder. So your prompt would be build a buy box for flipping townhomes in Arapahoe County under 400K with funding. So it'll give you a use case. So in every case, when you ask a prompt, now if you ask a general question, it'll actually then come up with the prompt, and it'll tell the prompt, and then it'll give you the use case that explains it. So RCIC returns a PDF plus a CRM ready buy box targeting zip codes, price range, property type, rehab scope, and lender fit. So that's a pretty good thing. So that's your prompt there. You got one for skip tracing. Show me the skip tracing prompt for tax liens in El Paso County. Run a visual property inspection checklist for 3-bed, 2-bath SPR, single family flip in Pueblo. And it talks about it'll return a virtual inspection prompt or PDF checklist with line items tied to scope of work, walls, windows, roof systems, flooring, fixtures, and all that. Can be used remotely. So that's huge. Daisy chain. That this Florida, I don't know how to pronounce that, or whatever, Florida deal for daisy chain risk. I'm actually doing that one on Wednesday. I saw somebody was in some group posted, and I was like, I just randomly have been testing it by just seeing deals people are posting in different groups that I see. I don't do that with anybody in our group, but anybody that I see random, if they're posting stuff, I'm testing stuff. I'm testing gurus. I put almost every person that I see posting some kind of program or coaching program in now. I've done, you guys can see over here, I got this thing called takedown requests, and it'll actually go through it. I've literally gone through, and you guys see the Ponzi scheme one. That's the guy that I busted for wire fraud, for Natalie. So you can get a lot of good information on the daisy chain detector, lender matching. Find 5 lenders who can fund a rental in Tyler, Texas, using DSCR asset-based underwriting. So right now it's got that database, but eventually as people are joining it, they'll be able to embed, and they fill out the embed, which is through Google Forms. It submits it, and it'll embed them. So somebody might be embedded as a wholesaler, might be embedded as a lender, things like that. So it's pretty cool. Virtual wholesaling onboarding. Give me the onboarding kit for virtual wholesaling in Michigan. We have James Pratt in Michigan. We have Scott Adkin, who's the ATF agent in Michigan. So we got a couple people in Michigan. We're gonna and eventually, I'm working on trying to get everybody across the board in the organization now, in the associates group, the local groups. Like we do have one for Springfield, Massachusetts. We also have one that starts in Springfield, Missouri. We got one in everything. We got one in Spokane, and then Laura, and that's where Stan is, and Laura's right across the state in Washington, and she's in Seattle. So we set up a Seattle group. We have a Northern California group, a Southern California group. Actually, 3 in Colorado. Bill Johnson has one. I set one up for Zeke. So eventually you guys can have that group. So you guys moderate it. We can fill in everybody, the reindeer groups, and they're localized and they're pretty cool. And that way people can start building up all their local resources, then use all these resources to keep it going. And like I said, if somebody joins from your link, from your gift, 12 months of access to starter, and they upgrade at any level, then like I said, I'll split it 50-50 with you. And if they come in and get lifetime at $5.99, that's $284 to you. So tier access plus upgrade path. And like I said, I'm gonna have it let's generate one prompt. Five lenders who can fund a rental in Tyler, Texas using DSCR or asset-based underwriting. So here it's going to give the response: market, Tyler, Texas, rental property, 1 to 4 units. It's going to give you loan type and the strategy, long-term buy and hold. And like I said, if there are ever any issues when you guys are in it, you just kind of teach it and kind of work with it and be patient, a little bit patient. Obviously, this has Kiavi, it has Lima 1, Easy Street, Rock 360, Temple View Capital. So it does, the good thing is it does give the websites. And then when people, these aren't embedded, these are just off the databases. So the database ones are all going to come out like this. The embedded ones will actually have like a prompt file, like I said. So it could be Jay already has his. He'll come up once in a while. Now, sometimes at first, when people start using stuff, you got to be patient and probably you might have to do the same thing like 2 or 3 times when you embed or you set up your buy box, just to have it adjust to the memories. So they have memory, and I'm not really going to go into it, but you go, to your settings in ChatGPT, and your settings you can actually Google or just put in the help. You can put in memories. You go in and it stores memories. It does pretty good. It gives you a lot of it, but when you fill up, it lets you know, won't let you do anything else until you do it. The first couple times, maybe 3 times you do memories, you want to just be selective and go through what you don't need it while you're teaching it. Because like I said, you're teaching it how to adapt to you. You're teaching it how to respond to you and what your buy box is and what your criteria and who you are, what you do. So eventually you can just start wiping out the memories. Now I just wipe it all out because I've been in the system enough that it lets me know that. It lets it's pretty cool. It knows me now. Attachments, so it has the lender summary, PDF and all that stuff. This is actually a folder, like I said, in Dropbox. I won't open Dropbox, so I'd have to open another window. But this is what I do a lot of times during the day now. I have to go through and with the number, the order. This does take a little bit of time. I think today I spent about an hour probably putting in all the but the cool thing is this gives me all the stuff. You guys can see over here some codex. You guys see Thora. Codex actually it'll code. So it actually will give me these folders. So this sets up the folder in Dropbox in the RCIC library, which is part of our, in my Dropbox. Then I got the lender match, and then you can start putting in all the, it's awesome. It goes in, puts all the triggers in. Triggers are what triggers the prompts. Let me see. Let me real quick have it define trigger versus prompt. So I think I just hit about 500 hours into this. So a prompt is the question you ask. This is your input. It's what you type in RCIC or the prompt assistant. Build a buy box for tolls under 250K. Find DSCR lenders in Florida. Give me a skip tracing script for tax liens in Pueblo. A prompt starts the process and tells the system what you want it to do. A trigger. What the system does behind the scenes is a trigger. Are the rules and logic it uses to know how to respond to your prompt. It matches your prompt to a template, a folder, an embedded file, or a prompt back. So prompt includes Pueblo County. It triggers the Pueblo specific lead gen folder and visuals. So it'll pull up everything we would have on Pueblo. That's what it'll trigger it. So DSCR, that's going to pull up everything that the Dropbox, everything the vault has on DSCR. It's going to come up with a script and it's going to come up with lender directory. Your prompt mentions BuyBox. It triggers the BuyBox Builder, form output, and the PDF export. So it triggers all that stuff. So triggers are behind the scenes switchboard. It's like the old switchboard that the operators used to use in the phone company. It's the triggers, or a radar and MASH. Prompt trigger output. You say, show me skip tracing tool for Summit County code violations. And yes, you can actually search code violations and tax liens and all that now. Prompt includes Summit County and code violations. The triggers, it'll pull up this is actually what the triggers are. This is in my Dropbox in the vault. When Airtable will also, the good thing about it, I don't have to go and build all the Airtable stuff. When I connect the Airtable to this, it'll actually automatically transfer everything over there. So I don't have to, it'll take like 2 hours. I just got to build the Airtable and it's more time to build it. Would you like a visual diagram or a 1-page cheat sheet? Yep, I'll do a 1-page. And then let's see, trying to see Willie, where are you at? I forget. What part of the country? I forget. Cool. I can do Kansas City. Let's
Texas, Dallas, Texas area.
oh yeah, let me do a real quick for Dallas. I have a local group for Dallas.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the only problem is here that there's a thing with visuals, and I have to tell you guys because it may stop, and I may have to actually close out of this and then try to get back in. on the chat GPT. There's been a problem with visuals where it literally see it at the end, you see this, it kind of cuts off. And this is what the padding I was talking about. So sometimes it'll Dallas. Sometimes let me see if it'll do it. It did it. It fixed the glitch. It was like holding where I literally wouldn't let me do anything else, and I'd have to go over, close out this, and come back into it. So Dallas isn't live yet. We have it open, but I mean it's so we can build the Dallas local group. And I'll do one as well for Kevin. I know we have one for Massachusetts that Jesse has. So everybody can have their own like group that you guys can. It'll be on Facebook, and I'll be the co-administrator. But I mean, it'll have all this. So we do actually have a Dallas group. I just to show you what we can do. All that I can put all this together. And so like the cover will have this Dallas skyline reunion tower and all that. So we got some visuals. And I can, it's cool. So local zoning will have all the local stuff, and we can build all these local groups. I mean, I have to do a lot of these manually, but you can have, we already have, you get the Houston, Austin, San Antonio groups. You can have a Texas hub, so we can put a lot of those resources. You don't want to give them away because you want people to join, but we can put them in there to help support you guys with building up local followings, local stuff. Yes, and then
Man,
yeah, it's pretty cool, man, what it can do with this now. Dude, I was just taking, because you guys heard me, I was talking about building what we're going to build. I was going to build that ecosystem. It was going to be like beta testing. It was going to be being built now. I was going to have to pay somebody, beta test it, open, like a soft opening, get all the tweaks worked out, and be ready to go live first part of 2026. I went in for I'm just going to go in for a couple of weeks and do some AI stuff, build the packages that I'm going to hand off to the builder. I've been there for 500 hours and I built this myself. I mean, I've actually learned a lot of stuff, and it's pretty good. Um, yeah. So yeah, so it's building a Dallas script. So because we do already have a Dallas script, so I'll pull that up tomorrow, and I'll send you the invite. Because I just don't think some of the groups I finished in, because like I said, there's some visuals, like trying to make some banners and covers. The cool thing is it'll write a 2,000 word pictory script summary for me, so I can go to picture and I can make the YouTube videos that I've been making. It can do the YouTube. It'll make the title, the description. It'll make me a thumbnail. The thumbnail if you're ever going to YouTube thumbnails, you have to be under 2.0 megabytes. And so I always tell it 1.99. Sometimes it still screws it up, and I got to go resize it with Canva. But like I said, it's getting closer and closer to being a finished product on the open AI end. It's just going to get better. So yeah, we'll have all this for the Dallas, Texas, and I can do the Kansas City group. So we're going to have like 50 of these local groups, and that gives you guys a chance to build up resources. And like I said, it's earning potential, because I give everybody 25 of those Patreon gift links to hand out, just be selective. After you get a few enough people will upgrade, then I'll give you 25. I'll keep giving you 25 at a time. It doesn't matter if we get 1,000, 2,000 people into the starter level. It's a starter level. If they want to get more, if they want to get access to the AI, they either got to do it through you or they got to upgrade and do the AI. My thing is I would like to eventually get just the AI standalone. If we get 1,000, 5,000 people on it, eventually I'll drop that to like $20 a month, because I think, imagine, Willie, if people had access to this for $20 a month, how much they would save, how much time, how many gurus they could avoid. I mean, this has every strategy. I've put everything. I've put ACES stuff in here. It can go through and actually go through you can go through their website. I'm literally putting some guru's website. Here, let me show you real quick right now. I got one earlier I posted that I just found. Let me see if I can find it. I'll show you guys one real quick. Because it's how I learn what people are doing. And so let me I gotta pull up a picture of it real quick. You guys have seen this one. I don't know if you guys have seen this one at all, but let me put it in there. REI link. do a takedown of reilink.com. So this is actually, sometimes it's right on. Like the guy that I found that was wire fraud. And basically the story is Natalie has a client in her program, her coaching program, and Natalie's an associate who's has, I think they had an elderly relative who was looking to get a HELOC or something, and they were talking to a guy in San Antonio, and the guy got her to sign over the title and the equity. She thought she was going to get money back, and it was going to be like a reverse flip, but and so they got the name, they got the information, all the numbers. There was like 20 numbers. They were all burner phones when I put them in the system. So I put them into this. They came up with their company, and long story short, the guy about a week later, after I put don't do business with him, he got all pissy and on Facebook and told me, hey, if I'm being sued, do you think I know about it? Well, he had his real name. I put his real name in. Guess what? In like seconds, it came back that he'd been convicted of wire fraud in 2014 and did almost 4 years in federal prison for real estate related wire fraud. I got that to Natalie, so she was able to take care of her connection. So it will do a lot of searches. So this goes through it, does all the red flags, no deal control verification. And I go and check this stuff to make sure, like, I'm not, a lot of this is for me learning what to put into this system, into our system, into this intelligence thing. Because there's some good stuff that some people put out. I find a lot of the people, when you guys all know me long enough to know that, the issues I have with Gear is the same stuff it's people just recycle. Nobody's really doing anything new. I don't think the Gator program was new. I think it may have been done in another format. Almost everything is new, but we got everything. I mean, you can go through and do all this. Here's a risk assessment. I built one time. I had one that had 20 of them. The best thing is that I even compared it what I'm doing to everybody's. And it came out the only red X we had at the end was user input but we actually scored because of that. That was like our one thing that we didn't do what everybody else was doing. We actually have user input is very vital to what you're doing. So it went through that real quick. No, I'm just gonna have it. Thing, like I said, it's vital.
So this program, say I've got somebody that's wanting to find a lender for RV parks. It
Yeah.
can, or would I need to find a lender that does it and then input them into the system?
They should be in there. I mean, I'll check into the second RV parks, but I do have a lot of stuff in RVs. So the RV will trigger RV parks. It'll bring up all the information. Then you can ask for lenders. I'm going to say that we have a lot of, I mean, we still need a lot of people to join. It's still lots of databases, but we do have every asset class and every strategy in there. So it's not saying that, and you have access to this anyway. So, I mean, that's part of what, what you guys all have had forever since you've known me. So you guys can play around with it once you have yours. Like I said, you just have to get the free version of ChatGPT.
So that's
yeah,
what we need is a version of ChatGPT to make it go live.
yeah. And then I have the link that gives you what this prompt assistant. There's also two prompt bars that are used with Google. I'll ask that the question in a minute before we user input is our power. It doesn't work. It's flashy. It's because it's responsive. So that response begins with you. Everything you guys, this is all input, user input. The more you put in. So you want to do your RV park for your client or anything, you jump on here and work with them either live or yourself. And the more information you put in, the better better the output's going to be. So user input. Let me ask real quick. And we trigger RV parks.
Next question. If a lender sends me their website so I can view what all they lend, I can input into the system. It saves them and we'll pull it up when I need them again.
Yeah, you can embed them.
Oh yeah.
You'll ask for the embedding and how to embed things. And there's certain people like you and Kevin and Jesse, the people that are in the associates group will be like when I was talking about the guides, you guys can actually also even get like like not just ambassadors, but like be moderators where you get access to actually approve. So when people do the prompt suggestion bar, they're suggesting new prompts and new stuff in there. So already and you can change this, like instead of Colorado, build a buy box for RV parks in Texas you can go in Dallas, Texas, in El Paso, Texas. You can change these. So there's a vault folder already, asset classes, RV parks, um, skip tracing for RV park owners near coastal Florida. So you want to ask it for the trigger points. When you get in there, you want to ask them, the prompts, give me the prompts, give me the trigger points, give me the triggers for, whatever you're looking for. It's going to pull up all those, and you can refine it. Literally, I think everybody spends a couple hours, probably, probably I'm going to say July and August are probably going to be the two biggest learning months. And I plan to do like 2 or 3 sessions a week live, and then I can do those one-on-ones. So when you have clients, Willie, let me know ahead of time, and we'll do a Zoom, and I can sit there with you. We can go through, and I can show you, and then eventually the whole idea is like train the trainer. I can hand it off to you. The more you get used to it on your end, then you start knowing where everything is. It's actually simple though, because you will, like I said, that's for RV parks. So once a prompt contains RV park, campground, mobile campground, it'll auto trigger this asset flow. That's how you embed it. So you gotta put it in there and ask it to embed it and create the prompts for it. They're already in there. But like I said, if you ever get in a situation where sometimes maybe people aren't using it as often, if it's something really rare, then somebody might have to go in and remind it. Like I said, you still have to teach it. You still have to massage it a bit. You have to be patient with visuals. There's some things you have to be patient on and kind of know that sometimes you're going to have to go manual, but it's getting there. But like I said, the more people that use this, if we have 150 people in the group and everybody's using it, at least everybody checks in once a week or something, this thing's going to be awesome. We're going to dominate because I put more stuff in there. The two biggest things that I have, besides other people trying to do this, because I know Jim Ingersoll's got his GPT and his Dealmaker group, and it's kind of pretty good. It's a little similar. The two biggest things I had is I had those databases, and I had all those items in our files tab. I literally was putting those into AI at first when I was just going to hand this off and have it built, and literally I came up with a lot of cool stuff. Let me see if I can do trigger the starter, the get started.
Wow.
They got RV parks. So they got build my RV park buy box. You got the use case. You got your prompt 2, match my lenders for the RV park purchase. It's got the use case. It actually explains what the prompt is. There's your check your zoning for your RV park. You can check zoning. When you get into when we got into not Airbnb, we do have STR regulations, but we get assisted living. I actually also made sure that we not only have like ADA and stuff, we actually made sure I actually put a lot of sources in there to embed in like the Alzheimer's Association and dementia and the different categories that people have for assisted living. But it also has what's used. It has it helps build the care plan. It has a lot of the physicians and the groups that deal with assisted living and aging and stuff. And then it also had a lot of stuff in there we put in for insurance and VA and Medicaid, Medicare, and all that stuff for people, private pay, how to structure, how to even set up billing, how to everything. So it's cool. So I made sure that it has a lot of stuff in there. That it basically you can go pretty deep on it if you need to do assisted living. If you want to do RV parks, we also have glamping, which is cool. We have almost every asset class. I mean, let's see. And I know the answers to this, but just to show you guys.
What are they doing? Co-living space.
Yeah, a pad split.
Yeah.
I have resources for 1031 exchange.
It's hot.
Yeah, I'm gonna just put a few innovations and Morby method. And I still not really happy with that whole Morby stuff, but people are doing it enough that I have to Yep. It's fully embedded. 1031 exchange. We've already got all the folder exists and already a lot of prompts already. So I've got 1031, all the timelines, even compliance checklists, all that. So a lot of it's already in there. And so you can put a sample prompt. Give me a 1031 checklist for selling a duplex in Colorado and buying a mobile home park in Arizona. You got novations. It's got the explainer. You got a PDF and has the tile. It has all the contract language starter prompts already in there. Innovations, everything risk disclosures. Structure innovation contract offer for a seller in North Carolina with an open FHA mortgage and high equity. You got all the Morby method and creative financing. And so if people are putting stuff in here and inputting it, it's going to be in here. So yes, I'm going to build that one. So it's going to prep that live. So I'm trying to show you guys a little bit, some of the stuff that I do during the day when I'm actually building all this stuff that it, literally I have to go and build subfolders and stuff. It'll ask me for a carousel visual set. So carousel, maybe 5 or 6 pictures. And then you go to Instagram and it's how like Instagram has like, flashes through like a presentation or something. They'll do a carousel. It's a struggle a little bit with Canva. It was supposed to build me it was supposed to do some parody songs. Let's see I can pull it up, but I'll kind of show where it was at. You guys can tell. I have to separate a lot of stuff. This is how much stuff I'm working on for all the counties. Here's our skip tracing guide, Northern New England. All this stuff. Let's see if I got it. Jay Holder. He's, like I said, yeah, I introduced him to him this morning. I got Wolf of Private Money. So remember the King of Wishful Thinking song from the 80s? He made a parody song, The Wolf of Private Money. I have like sometimes it's just when it's like slow and it's doing working on stuff because a lot of times I've got so much stuff going on, Willie, that I literally have to tell it to do it overnight, and then I check in the next morning and I see what it's got done. It's usually unless it's really backed up. I actually have a lot of stuff happen overnight. This whole adding counties is going to take 2 months. But sometimes I need just a little humor because I've been on the computer for 5 or 6 hours. So I have parody songs. I made like, what was it, The Investor Man, which is sung by Piano Man from Billy Joel. And it actually comes up with these songs like instantly. It's pretty funny. I mean, I can actually, let me see if I can real quick. Uh, what are the lyrics to Investor Man? I wish I had a band that could actually do the actual music. There you go. The parody anthem of every overhyped period trying to flex rentals and leverage no cash flow. It's they made it to Rocket Man instead of Piano Man. So this is Rocket Man by Elton John. I had he packed his Prius full of TikTok dreams. So we can have some fun with this as well.
Pretty cool.
Dude, I got like 20 parody songs, man. I thought it was gonna come out with Piano Man. Let me just because that one's one of the best ones. I want to bring up that one, and then here you go, Billy Joel's Piano Man. It comes over this in a second. It's 9 o'clock on a week. So pretty funny shit, dude. So, friend, can you build me a BuyBox, please? Sing us the song, You're the Investor Man. That's some good shit. So yeah, dude, like I said, it's pretty awesome what this is. So I gotta get you on there and all that shit and get you the prompt bar. Real quick, I'm gonna say the prompt bar. Okay. So they're like the command center shortcut bar. And they're just in Google Forms. Right now, a lot of stuff is manually. Once I got Airtable up, it'll change and people will go to Airtable. I mean, not to Airtable, to the links and put them in there. Right now, it goes to Google Forms, Google Docs. and it'll go, and like I said, when I have those moderators, it'll actually, people can actually then approve new prompts and just put them in there and build the system. But this is what prompt bars do. And so we got BuyBox PromptBar. There's a skip grazing prompt bar, zoning prompt bar, Dispo TC prompt bar. So if you need finish line TC, which is, or EMD for EMD easier finish line, which are Chase companies, they're actually in there. They're embedded. So you guys can already see that's a demonstration of embedding right there. Because he's starting to come up now. When, like I said, right now this wasn't planned. I didn't ask for anything on the EMD or TC stuff, and it came up. So it's cool. And that's a good example of what the embedding does. You become part of the system, and so think about how many hundreds and then eventually thousands of people using this, and all of a sudden, Willie, you come up a lot of times in Dallas or whatever you're doing. People find you, and no matter if they can get the deal done, and they can then send. At some point, they'll be actually just even send you the deal right out of the AI, and it's already done all the red flags. It's already done all the underwriting and all that stuff. It's done a lot of good stuff. So it uses search logic and embedded prompt chaining. So find SGI regulations for whatever city, search property appraiser for whatever county, locate zoning or overlays. You can pull up some of the counties, you can pull up the GIS data, you can pull up Google Earth, Google Maps. That allow prompt bars to match real URLs like assessor, county clerk, zoning code. So it's talking about how it works, some of this internal stuff, which I actually haven't showed on any sessions yet. Some of the internal stuff that how it's powered. This is very powerful. I mean, it's just going to get better. And I don't see this ever stopping. I think it's going to get more powerful because if we get 100 people, 500 people, 1,000 people putting input in, this thing's going to be just, we're going to dominate. People are going to be like, hey, because you can go there in an hour. The idea is you could actually probably go in and put, and I'll ask it that right now. If a user has 10 properties, can they input and have RCIC analyze them, conduct red flag checks, and prepare offers overnight? Yep, you can do it even further. So think about that, Willie. You have 10 properties. You put all your information in your buy boxes, all this stuff in there. You press send, go to sleep, wake up the next morning. Maybe it's got 2 of those are good. The red flags have been addressed. It can do all the underwriting. You're teaching it your underwriting. You're teaching it your risk, your all that stuff over, and then you have all your trigger points. It's going to get all this stuff done for you, and it's got all your parameters. It's got your whatever you want for your percentages for your, you can program that in and it'll analyze it and build the offer. You still got to press send to send it off and save it and all that stuff. It's not going to do that for you. It's not allowed to email anybody or send anybody stuff. I think they said they put that in there for protection of people, like, so that way people can't use it to spam. Another point to that is that everything in here also has compliance for if you're going to send out text messaging or you're going to do cold calling, you can ask for compliance. How does that work on the do not call registry? How does it work if a city's or a state's got a different law that's stricter, and you can pull up that compliance. So you can go ahead and you can build your campaign using this with all this information to do all this stuff. Here's your overnight workflow. For each property, you can run a red flag scan, daisy chain risk. You'll be able to do all your zero equity. Check on the title. It'll give you red flags. It'll give you the yellow, just like a stoplight. Gives you the strategy math. Yeah, it might come up with a different strategy for you. It's becoming that good. And like I said, the more people that use it, the more people that put input, the more people put their inputs. When people start tightening it down and people are doing the same kind of numbers because they're in the organization, we're all doing these sessions, all this stuff. It's going to get down to where people can literally just put in like 10 addresses or whatever, and put in their buy boxes, put in their input, press send, wake up the next morning and maybe have 2 or 3 offers to send. Then you can do all your offer stuff. You can do all your paperwork with it. You can line up all your lenders. It's just there's really nothing we won't be able to do. It's just a few things we're gonna have to, to get data for scope of work and to get data for some lead generation. It's able to do some. You still got to go tell it to go check 80439, which is Evergreen, or go check 80202, which is Denver, one of the Denver zip codes. You still got to go manually tell it where you want it to search and what you want it to search for, but it'll do it. Offer generation. Here's your full offer package. You can do all this. You put your input in, what you want, what your typical terms are, what your offer. You put in your risk, your buy box. It's going to do it all for you. It's going to go to your lender match.
Oh,
You drop 10 deals at night. You wake up with clear go, no go on each offer. The packages are built. Red flags are surfaced. Funding lined up. Yes, I'm going to activate it right now. Like I said, there's still a few quirks. What I want to do is try to get everybody start using it, and then through July and August and stuff, and then people can do handoff when they can do it on their own. But like I said, we're gonna keep doing these Mondays and Wednesdays, and then our associates on Thursdays through the end of the year, get everybody on it. And like I said, this is awesome, and people like go out and promote it. Give out your link. Your 20 part of your 25. When you run out, hit me up. I'll set you up another 25. Like I said, when people convert and they subscribe, I'll fix those tonight. Those tiers. Obviously if people, somebody joins at $49, you get like 20 something dollars for that. And all that. So I got to come up with a system to do that on a monthly basis, because that's going to be a lot of tracking, but it does actually track it on the Patreon. I mean, which is awesome. Because Patreon just ended up being a better place for me. So I got Patreon, I got the YouTube for the education stuff, and I got all this other stuff. So here it's building all this stuff.
wow.
Yeah, I got almost 500 hours. I just went down a rabbit hole, and I've been there the whole time. I keep going deeper, deeper, and deeper, and deeper. I got the steam shovel out now. So Airtable, that's something definitely everybody wants to get, is Airtable. Get the free version. And then there's a couple really good YouTube videos, like 30 minutes. You can build your own YouTube. They call it a base, and you get like 100 free bases with the base. So a base could be like, you can do anything with a base. You can call it like a neighborhood or a city, or what you're doing. You can put a base for like your buyers list, and you can automate it in AI. Use Zapier and use Airtable. Zapier you do have to pay for, but Airtable's free. And so you can put all your deal drop template. You can build your own templates, and then you put them in here. And when you're embedded, then it's going to have all this stuff. So it's when you start putting in deals, then it'll start going through your specific deals. Like I said, it all starts in the prompt assistant, which awesome. It's awesome. And literally people would go in, and the first thing they do in the Dropbox, the first thing they do is they go in and start here. There's a start here. That's the first thing they see when they get into prompt, and then it sets them up and which direction you want to go. Are you flipping? Are you a wholesaler? What are you? It's going to send you can go in anyone you want, but it's going to tell you. There's a map. Okay. I probably won't do that right now because I got to get out of this and go open up Dropbox. So, but I'll do that. I'll do that later. So it's building all that for me right now. Like I said, okay, real quick, I'm gonna have it because we're gonna run off in a minute. Okay, I'm going to process them.
Oh, wow.
Generate the title, description with tags, and a thumbnail. And like I said, it's limited to 2.0. I put one 0.99 just to try to be a little bit, safe. There you go. It's generating this already for me. So when I go, we sign off and I go generate the Zoom. I'll come back on and I already have my YouTube stuff. All right, see, it's already got my description. Yeah, so I gotta change the website because I don't have it. I gotta see if that website's good because it's a good one. I'll change that before I actually do it because we're using privatemoneyauthority.com. I'll change that right now. For right now, I'm just using this one I've had forever. But yeah, I need to, that's a pretty cool to use the AI ones are expensive though. I had this one, this is a regular one on my emails and stuff go to it. So it'll fix that. It's doing the thumbnail. I'll see how it turns out. And then like I said, we can sign off and then I'll go make the video and it'll have it ready. I can have the video and, I'll go sign off and it'll be cool. I'll have it all ready to go. So any other questions? Like I said, we'll be doing this like these Wednesdays, Mondays and Wednesdays and our Thursdays. So like hopefully we'll be able to get on where I'm just not showing people. We can start actually doing deals like as soon as this week, start actually doing people's deals. So I'll probably do like an hour presentation, turn it off, and then we can go as long as people need it. If we want to sign off in 30 minutes or whatever, then that's too. We'll actually do live deals with using the AI. We'll build buy boxes and all that stuff. This store over here is kind of cool. I'm not gonna click on it now, but I'm not in the group for it yet. You have to be approved to get into it. It's like a test group. Right now they're able to do about 30 seconds of 4K video right from the AI. Eventually that'll get up to about 5 minutes. So imagine being able to just do your AI, put something together, go make a 5-minute video in 4K. You can do that as a listing or something. That'd be kind of cool. There it goes. Here's my visual. This is my YouTube thumbnail. So like I said, sometimes you'll have to worry, like it had Jay's picture. And it puts it there, it's not him actually, but that just created that guy. Sometimes that's not me, but I'm just gonna go with it because I'm not gonna fucking, Sometimes I have to like give up and trying to get it to say that is weird, but yeah, it's kind of cool. Well, I can. Let me actually try to see if I can put me in there. I do have myself saved in a place. Let's see if I can fix it. Sometimes I can. Sometimes let's see if I go to desktop. You guys see these are all the books over here on all these little books that I was writing. They're all like 20 pages, different parts of there's syndication compliance addendums, sustainable cash flow, STR, the black book, sure, all these little these are all in the system. All these stuff is stuff I started building in April. Let's see if it'll fix it. And like I said, you kind of have to be patient with images. But you can actually make them like Instagram requires a smaller image, but it gives you more characters. X and Twitter requires less characters, but you can use the same image that you do for Facebook. And you can have all the hashtags and stuff put in it. You can do Patreon, you can do Substack, you can do Medium, you can literally have it make like 10 different versions of the same thing. So that way it's all character and visual compliance. So think about that too, really, when you're doing, like I said, if you need some stuff too, because if you get the paid version, which is $20 a month, you can do all the visuals and a lot of stuff on yourself. But if you need some stuff in the meantime, I can help you make some stuff. It's just you don't have total control, like you're paying somebody to do it, but you've seen the stuff I've been posting lately. Most of it's pretty good actually. And I tell people about the little issues of padding, but I'll try to help people make some visuals and make some. I'm actually doing better. Like Facebook gives me my stats. I literally did 68,000 views last month, and almost 45,000 of them came from the text posts and not the visuals. So I think people spend more time when they read it. And that, so I got like, I think I got $27 last month for my monetization on Facebook. There's people that make like $100,000 on YouTube. They gotta have a shit ton of views and subscribers. If it comes out what it comes out with, oh, it's gonna make ChatGPT a big one. No, and people have given me crap. Oh, here's ChatGPT. Dude, I've also got 500 hours into it. And I put my whole database in it. I put all my lenders in it, all my databases, all my files in it. So people gotta understand I've done a lot of work. And I didn't know hardly any of this stuff but in April. So it's got my picture. So I'll go ahead and use that one. So it's got my let me see. Yeah, see, it's got all my stuff. So that's all good to go. Yeah, so let me know if you want to work on any of your deals. You know, like I said, if you want to do it on Wednesday and Thursdays, or if you need to. The only time I'm really trying not to schedule anything is Tuesday nights and Friday nights, so I can have a couple nights off to go do things. But yeah, dude, anything you want to do, let me know. We'll hook up on Zoom or whatever and work on your deals on AI until you get it. And once you have it and all that stuff, to make a decision of you can just use the free version, you're good. But eventually, you'll probably want to spend the $20 a month and get the unlimited. And then people can build their own GPT. The nice thing is people can actually build their own, and eventually I'll be able to authorize it, and people can actually take a lot of the stuff that we've already built. So we'll do that with the associates and all that. But yeah, everything's built right now. So it's kind of cool. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of that real quick. Stop sharing. I know Arliss, hey, you're on again. Nice to see you again. Yeah, so what, we got any questions? Anything you wanted to talk about before I kill the recording? Cool. Hey, how are you? Hey, if you got any questions, I know you last session you were on, you didn't, you just listened. If you got any questions, let me know or hit me up on Facebook so I can make sure I get you probate. Yeah, we got a lot of probate resources in there. When you're doing probate searches, you can actually use this AI stuff, and I'll make sure you get the links. You can actually use it to go in and do probate searches in whatever county. Keep in mind, all the counties won't be in there until the end of July. We'll have all 3,144 counties. So you'll be able to pull up like whatever counties you're looking at. You have to go county by county. There's no, and there's no national MLSs. A lot of people will go, people out there pitching, hey, I can get you live MLS. And so we also do these on Wednesdays, and then Willie's in the program. He's in the associates program, which you're in as well. Now I introduce you. So he's been in for a couple of years on Thursday nights, and you can come on those. And those are more, we have more people talking and doing deals, but we'll actually start doing a lot of the AI stuff in there as well. And then Willie also want to try to get, once a lot of you guys in the associates group start getting used to it and start, we can have people doing hopefully maybe like marathon sessions to get like 8 to 10 people on, and we can guide people through. I can guide people 8 to 10 people at one time, 20 people at one time at their own, getting their own AI stuff going. Think about how powerful that'll be when you do these sessions, these marathon sessions. You just go knock out a bunch of deals. So, yeah, what's up? How are you? Willie, I don't see Mr. Furley behind you.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not popping up. It was on there earlier when I was on the Zoom. I think I'm on a different device. So I keep trying to open up the prompts, and I think it's maybe because I don't have ChatGPT maybe downloaded, because it just keeps telling me 404 not found. Is that the reason?
Yeah, if you don't have ChatGPT, that won't work. Those will go to the Google Forms. There are Google Forms. But if you don't have the ChatGPT, you just need the free version. And you
Okay.
can get that, and then that prompt assistant will work, and you'll be able to fire away.
Okay. Because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I know I'm behind in times. I definitely need a tutorial.
No, and there's a lot of them in there because I knew I was gonna have that same situation. So when you get to the first one, you can go start here. It'll have like how to do this, how to do this real
Okay.
quick. And they're like, what is good about it is it's doing one pagers. It's not giving you like a 20-page tutorial. It gives you like a one page. It's very much down to business. It tells
Right.
you this is what you need to do on here. Now, obviously, some of the links like Bitly and I don't know if I explained this, so Bitly and some of those ones like Tiny URL, because this is session based, those have a problem. Like it'll hold it now because I'm using my website. Now I finally had to do that to lock them down. So some of the ones that were in there to begin with would expire in like 24 hours, like the tiny URLs and the Bitly, because you want to consolidate. Otherwise, you get these long. When you're doing this, you get these long URLs that no one can remember. And so now that I can do that, I can lock them down. Otherwise, when it's session based, they expire. And so I was having an issue with that. I had to learn that. Like I said, there's a lot of trial and error. I've gone through a lot of the trial and error you guys won't have to go through. Like I said, if there's glitches and stuff, that's why I'm going to be doing these sessions live. So
Okay.
while you guys are doing it, learning it, I can be firing away, helping you guys. Like I said, then as people get more comfortable with it, these sessions we do, people can be doing AI with other people, and we can. I mean, the whole idea is by the end of the year, we hopefully get a couple thousand people subscribing. Because like I said, how powerful this? If I get 5,000 people, I'd literally only charge like $20 a month for the AI to give them all the resources in the Patreon and give them then the higher level basically gets all the support, gets to come on the live sessions and all that stuff. So eventually, I'd like to just make this available to, you know, I think it'd be huge. People, and then people start doing deals with each other in the group, just like it was intended all along. But Facebook, and you know the limitations. You've been around for a couple of years now in the group, so the limitations I had. Facebook wouldn't let me do anything that I wanted that I could. That whole thing was convoluted. You go to that, everything's there. I've taken all those documents that were in Files tab, and I put them all into Chat GPT, and I reworked them all, refreshed them, and they have use cases. So now you can pull up. I need an LOI for a seller carry. It's going to pop up the seller carry on that screen. It's going to give you the use case. So then it's going to tell you how to go then complete it. Where you can then save it for yourself in PDF, Word, if anything with numbers, Excel. You can make a PowerPoint. It will. It does say it can make some other stuff. Canva. It can do some carousel stuff for Instagram. It can do voice. It tries like there's stuff so you can see where it's going to go in the future. OpenAI is very much about like telling people we know the glitches, we're fixing them. You know, so anything you see where it tries to do, just got to be patient and go. Okay, it's not gonna turn into those parody songs. Like it was gonna put music to it. I'm not even waiting on that. I thought it was just funny just to have the lyrics. But that would have been funny if it could have actually made the music. But then you get into some copyright stuff. So, um, so like I said, man, I'm pretty excited about it. We're gonna be doing these Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays just like normal. And then like I said, if you have a specific, need, just hit me up. You know where to find me, and we'll just set up a Zoom and we'll jump on it together. And especially when you get your GPT or whatever, I always tell people, do it on their computer while you're on the phone talking to Zoom. That way you can be working on, because then I can sit there and fire away. And eventually with the prompt assistant, when the prompt assistant's going with the master prompt assistant with me, then we can build a lot of stuff together. The idea eventually get 100 people, 200 people on these sessions, and everybody's working on their deals, and it's just going to get that much powerful. Like it said, and like I said, it's user input. This will output whatever you need and it'll be accurate, but it's got to have the user input. So you got to tell it you're doing Denton, Texas, and you're doing a flip, and these are the numbers you want, these are the terms you want. You go and put that in there. It's going to come out with that. It's going to find that deal, and it's going to cut all the red. It's going to take all the red flags. Like I said, it'll do red, yellow, and green, just like if you put in those 10 properties,
That's
like I
gonna
was
be
saying.
awesome.
Yeah, if you put in those 10 properties.
Yeah, I'm about to play with this.
Okay. Yeah, I can get that information to you in the morning, Arliss. I forgot, is that how you pronounce your name? I don't, because we haven't actually talked. So I want to make sure. So yeah, so Willie Arliss just joined about 2 weeks ago with the associates program. So Yeah, let me do that. Can we jump on a thing in the morning and I can run through probate with you, and that way I can pull this back up. Yeah, and then I can, like I said, yeah, then I can pull this right up and we can be on. I can just be on the phone with you and or whatever, and you can give me the data and I'll put it in and save it and send it to you. So it's probably the best thing to do. Yeah, well, it was great catching up with you.
Yes, sir.
Hey, what else you working on? I know you've been busy.
That's it, man. I'm gonna dive into this and see if I can link it up and connect some deals. That is it.
Yeah,
How
let
about
me know. I'll make some content. I'll make you some content as well.
let's
Some
do it.
promotion stuff. Until you get your own, like when you get the paid version, you can do visuals and you can do all your own stuff. But in the meantime, I can make a little bit. I don't want to throw that out to everybody because I don't want to be like all of a sudden I'm a graphic designer. It's not what you guys want me to be doing. Because it's like, but I want to get you guys knowing everything that I've known. It's not that hard. Like I said, I'm making sure that it builds a user guide for everything. Every asset class, every strategy, it gives you a use case. I mean, think about this. People don't have to go through Guru. They can pull this up. They want to on a wholesale. Boom, it's going to pull up the user. It's going to pull up a user guide for wholesaling. And it's going to give all the particulars, and people will go and get the resources right then and there on the screen and not have to go and pay $2,500 to somebody. And do that for 49 bucks a month or 99 bucks a month until, like I said, at some point I'm going to drop the price, because I want to I want to democratize this and get it out to more people because then it'll become really powerful. We get a lot of people on there. Yeah, it's cool. All right. Charlotte, yeah, give me a call. Like, hit me up on text in the morning on Messenger and let me know. And then, like I said, I can be available a couple different times tomorrow to help you with your probate. Because I got a lot of probate stuff in there. I just need to know particularly where it's at and what the deal is, and then we can try to research it. And we'll do it live. 'Cause don't send information out on Messenger. We'll do it live. You'll be on the phone and tell me, hey, whatever it is, probate, here's the address, here's this. I can put it in and save it for you and send it to you. So cool. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and shut the recording off. Like I said, we Wednesday night, 5 p.m. save time. The same link works for Mondays and Wednesdays. I set that up that way so we used to have that problem with the 2 nights a week. We're like, which link are we using? Just
Right.
as long as you use the Monday and Wednesday one, you're good. The Thursday night will still be the Thursday night associates. I wanted people to register because anything I do with public facing, I want to at least know who's going to be on it. So I don't have like people come on to enter whatever. So I try to do a registration for anything where people could come in from the public.
That's a good idea.
Because we're our group is because we're a group, we know everybody still. I mean, there's probably a lot of people that have joined since the last time you were on. I think we had James Pratt in Michigan. He's pretty cool. He's awesome. We got some new people. So and Jay will be good, man. You'll do a lot of good deals with Jay, man. He's literally almost done almost $50 million in EMD and gap funding.
Jay Holder.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, dude. I told people Jay was going to be the GC, kind of exclusive. I mean, anybody can use what they want. It's a free market, but he's done his company Finish Lines closing in on 2,000 deals that they have GC transaction coordination on. And his company, EMD Easy, his own company, has done 763 EMD and gap deals. So almost $50 million. So
Yeah, I need to link up with him for sure.
yeah, dude, he's awesome. Everybody said he's the best in the business. So all right, cool. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and shut the recording down and log off, and then I'll see you guys next session. Like I said,
All right.
Will, if you want, hit me up and we can get on a Zoom together.
Okay. Yeah.
Work on your deals.
I may need that for sure because I'm gonna fiddle with it tonight. I'm not gonna bug you tonight, but I may bug you tomorrow.
Yeah, just get your chat. If you get your free chat GPT, you'll be set. Then it'll be a lot easier.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how to just get the chat GPT on OpenAI. I think it's still OpenAI.com, but you can find it now a lot easier than when we signed up for it. I had it for like a year and a half, and I was just using the free version. I just got the paid version. I was like, holy crap! I'm not only in the rabbit hole. I'm almost to the other side of the earth. That's how
Yeah, I
far
think
I've
you're about
gone.
to send me into it as well, but I need it.
Well, no, you go in there and it does the whole stuff for you and it makes it all more efficient. The only problem is you do end up getting in there for a while. Like it's intoxicating. Like it's addictive because you
Well,
start going down like, hey, I can do this. Well, I'm planning to do this. Now I go do this. Now I have this. Now I have this. Next thing you know, you got your own, you're setting up your own GPD,
oh yeah,
which is
I need
cool.
to
Then you
see.
do that for, then you do that for your clients.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. And then you do that for your clients and you can set them on, hey, go in here and it's going to work you through all the deals. Dude, this is awesome. This is like re-energized me because I was like, after a couple of years, it just gets, I have to be on all the Zooms. I was joking with Zeke and Doris. I'm like, how many Zooms they did? And I'm like, they're like, the only person that's done more is me because I have to be on them. But it's like, at some point, it's like, it does get a little bit like, hey, let's just get going. Because what I was going to do is going to cost me like 20 grand to have it built. And I managed to do it myself with this for 20 bucks a month. I think I might have 300 bucks in it between the subscription and having, obviously I had to sign up for more Dropbox. I had to go to like $12 a month for like 3 terabytes of memory to do the teams because when you're doing this, if it's a personal, it's free. But if you're doing anything an amount of stuff, I mean, you should see my Dropbox now. All these files that you were seeing on the screen, there's probably 1,000 of them in the Dropbox right now. It's all organized. I mean, it gives me a whole. This is the directory, and it tells me ChatGPT tells me where to put it. It's like go put it in here. You want to put all this stuff. You want to put like for today for foreclosures, pre-foreclosures. It took 3 documents in a folder that was for pre-foreclosures, and I had to go load in the 3 documents. So it'll pop them up on the screen, so I have to save them, and then because it'll do a zip, it'll make a zip for you, but it's hard to go put them into something and extract the zip. So I've had to learn a few shortcuts. Like now, don't give me the zip, give me all the files individually. Yeah, I have to go save. It takes up some memory to do that, but it's a lot easier for me to go and then drop those individual files into the folders because you have to set folders and subfolders, and it tells you what to do. It doesn't. And then I can go back and ask it again to clarify this, or I can go ahead and I can copy and paste the link where I'm at in Dropbox, and it'll tell me I'm in the RCIC library where I'm at, and I can drop that in there, and it'll go through until, oh yeah, I did it right. And so you can go and ask it questions like that. It's just amazing. I'd like to know what's going on their end where they have all this information they're putting in. So it's going to be that company's, Grok, Elon has Grok, and there's also Gemini, and there's a couple other ones out there. I've got Grok through Twitter, and I've got Gemini for Google, so but I'm pretty much not going to, I don't need to go down like 3 rabbit holes at one time. So I'm pretty much using this one for the business. But yeah, dude, hit me up, and like I said, we can jump on a Zoom or something. The only nights I'm trying to keep free are Tuesdays and Fridays, just so I have a little bit of a social life. But I'm planning to dedicate the rest of this year at least to getting all this set up and getting subscribers. And like I said, I'm cutting people in on subscribers, so people bring people in. Give out your links to your people and stuff. Tell them, hey, this is awesome. Go check out the starter level, and they can get those books that I just showed you. They were just on my when I was going through finding my picture. All those little asset class books and strategy books. There's probably 100 of them. They're in the starter level in the tier 1. Normally, I'm just going to do that as like $9 a month. Try to get 1,000 people, just generate some revenue, and then obviously we go from there. We'll have the wholesaler group. We have capital partners, the AI one, and then we have the tier 4, which has associates and ITS, the training stuff, and then obviously seller solutions and capital partners. Because I want to have a thing where we train lenders. We bring people in to loan money, and we have a program for them. So that way, eventually, everybody unites and everybody just starts doing deals with each other. That was the intention of associates, but I could never get to that point with just Facebook alone. So there's about 25, 30 Facebook groups I'd like to leave right now if I could, and I'll be able to leave them. And I'll send you that link to the Dallas group because we do already have the pre-existing one. I just wanted to show you how and I'm going to revise them, but like I said, I've got them open, but I've got to go in some cases, fix the picture, and because I like to have the little, you know, the Hollywood, Southern California has the Hollywood sign, it has the Capitol Records building in the image. It actually did a pretty good job, but some of it just made a text. It got late. ChatGPT had an issue when you hit rate limits, and so I've got to go in and fix like 7 cities, and then I got to launch like Kansas City and like 10 or Atlanta, Miami, Las Vegas. I got to, you know, I want to have 50, so we cover the country, and then we have all these groups, and then people can join them, all the groups and the associates, and moderate them, and that way people can start feeding people into it. And those will be groups where people can actually start sending out their links. Those links are yours to give away. You just tell people, you know, if they upgrade, you know, you get 50% after the processing fee. So hopefully you get some lifetime people. Because the lifetime $5.99 is $284, roughly $284 after the processing fee commission. So that's a pretty good deal.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it only takes 2, and I mean, literally 1.5, and you're in the black. For everybody's in the black for what they paid for the $3.99 to join the group. So all I need is like, what, if somebody finds 2 people to come in lifetime, you know, so I'll get them in the black, and then I'm pretty cool with that. All right, cool. Hit me up when you want to do a session, or like I said, Wednesday and Thursday I've got sessions. Just don't use the Wednesday link for Thursday.
Okay, awesome.
All right, cool, dude. Good
All right, guys.
to see you.